Evening, everybody. This is Dr. How are you all? I hope this catches in a nice moment. And as you know, I've been doing this series on spiritual sayings that kind of made an impact on me and helped me to explore into the world of spirituality in terms of self inquiry and finding the truths from the ancient wisdom, right? It was very revealing and liberating and really life enriching things, right? So, one of them is this: are you thinking, speaking, and acting the same thing? That means you are acting according to your what you're saying and what you're thinking. So many of times we'll be thinking something, we believe something, and what we utter from our mouth is something completely different, and what it comes out in actions is completely different. We may make a promise, we may say that nicely, but when the uh, time comes, we conveniently ignore, right? So that is not having any of what you are thinking, you're speaking, and acting. This was uttered by Gandhi when I was growing up. He already died by the time I was born. I was born in 1955, but by the time I grew up, it was like 60, 65 before I came to know about him. Um, so probably in the late high school, I got to know about him because during the uh, Independence Day and Republic Day, those are the national functions they were doing at school. They used to talk about Gandhi, and he said in Sanskrit it's called manasa, that means by thought, vacha, that is by speech, karmana, that's by action. We want to be one and synchronize that, and you will have less complications in the world, right? So, first of all, human beings are thinking people, right? We are not just instinctual animals. As human beings, we do think, we do understand, we do emote, and then we kind of do stuff, right? Uh, so without thinking, you could be saying things that are not really, not really uh, mean anything to you, or impulsive saying, or it could be something like you're doing that doesn't have any resonance, right? So those kind of things are pretty. So we value people who kind of spend time in uh, thoughtful and meaningful, purposeful. Uh, those kind of leaders we look up to, right? And those there's also we hold them accountable for what they were saying. Those are coming from their deep understanding of their life and expressing things that they felt are useful for people to know about the facts of life, right? And then just because they said we may vote, we may say something. Especially in India, we say that people go and vote for people who have promised empty promises, but they never delivered it. So they come only at the time of elections once every few years and promise everything, get their votes and go. Okay, so that kind of thing is not very appreciable. So think, speak, and act, that requires a lot. And even to reflect on what I've been saying, what I've been thinking, and my actions, do they support that? you know. So first, having control over the thinking, and also control over the speech, and intentionally doing things. All these things are much better if you are synchronized. So, in yoga, in Ayurveda, in other sciences like that, they value a lot about what you think. They value about how you think. They value about how to empty your mind of negative thinking and then have only positive thinking. So it starts with that. How can we understand thinking, observe thinking, slow down thinking, and identify whether it's negative or positive? If it is negative, how can we convert that into positive by what's called pratipaksha bhava? That means you are um, trying to convert the negative thinking that was happening with positive assertion, positive thinking, right? So that kind of awareness is very important in anybody's life. So synchronize what you think and speak only that, and also make sure once you have spoken, you have given a promise, you have said something, show it in action. So the important thing is what you think, and then what comes out of you, and how much you are really uh, making that happen in your life, right? Or do things purposefully or intentionally, right? So thought becomes the important thing, and then if the thought is silent, then you may appreciate a lot of nuances around anything, and then you may want to not speak at all, but then express yourself in action that is deliberately uh, come from your inner being, right? So have a peaceful mind, silent mind, and then out of the silence, nice speech will come out of, and then so lots of time. If you observe over the anywhere where people congregate, they are not really silent. They just start going on talking something, and that something is like a nothing much, and nothing can be delivered like that, right? So uh, people are uh, really do not understand what is a silent thought is. That means you understand, and then other people may be saying something against that or beyond that. Then you got to be silent to appreciate that. You have to have a perception. So just thinking is not about you, overthinking is not about you, but being silent and then allowing the situation reveal what to be thought about that situation is about you. Okay, so be silent, think positive, and out of the silence the speech comes. Somebody said speech is the uh, uh, kind of offspring of silence. Silence is the mother of speech. That's what they said. Yeah, that's the silence is mother of speech. That means if you are silent, out of that speech will come better. You think, it comes out as speech, and it is in action. They all have to be synchronized. And we practice that? That's the question. Do we practice just to say things for the sake of saying things, or they have some substance behind? They have some contribution to life. If you can evaluate that, then that means whatever you feel or you think should be spoken briefly and truthfully, and that should result in good, right? This is very in ancient sayings, manasa vasa is thought. mind. Vacha means speech. Karma is action. Do you have synchronicity between these three? Tells you how stable you are within your mind, how considerate you are about what you speak, and then you are to have the accountability of acting up whatever you said, right? So I thought this was a very simple thing that I heard over the maybe 1970s probably, and then how it has really held me as accountable to myself, not to anybody's standards, not to anybody's sayings or beliefs or nothing, but just being aware of what the substance of this particular sentence helped me to think better, much more deeply, and also to be thoughtful and to be considerate and to speak only what is positive, what is going to help other people, right? Action, obviously, it's going to people around you, right? So remember this saying: synchronize your mind, speech, and also your action. Okay, a day-to-day simple things are large things, and people may pay attention to something very significant like job related or relationship related. That's fine, but if you practice this on simple things, suppose you told somebody, I'm going to be meeting you in a restaurant around 5 o'clock, and then you obviously try to maintain the time and go there. And if you could not go there, call them ahead, and if you could, and then and offer an apology. That would be nice, right? Then you take all of this for granted. They feel like they were taken granted, really not showing them the respect. See, it's as simple as that. And suppose you are a politician, you are promising things that you will not be able to fulfill, then come back and tell them that this is what happened. But they won't dare to do that. They try to see whether somebody forgot, and then I don't have to apologize, I don't have to take responsibility and all that, right? So it is important. It happens in so many societies that these three are taken as independent parts, and then they can be licentious about that. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So, if you are a spiritual person, if you are thinking positive, if you are thinking fearlessly, selflessly, with kindness and compassion, you have peace in your heart, love in your heart, that should come out in your speech, and that should help other people too. So it has tremendous significance having this synchronicity between what you think, what you speak, and what you uh, take out in action is very important. Okay, so this is one of the sayings that I wanted to share here with my friends, and then hopefully that made some sense. These are small bit things that when they happened, I was a teenager, and it took hold of me, and then it kind of made me really go for that kind of synchronicity. And by and large it was like that. And then there was instances where I could not hold back my speech, and then regretted it afterwards, because you are driven by your own anxiety or your own inner struggles, and then you may speak something that you regret later, right? Those kind of things happen. So that's it for today, and I hope this is brief and short and sweet. And I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll take up things again. Okay, bye bye.